Do you want me to start it?
Go for it. Episode 1.
All right. So Eddie and I had this crazy idea today because we're under self-isolation. We're currently quarantining on the farm where we live. And there's a sound studio, and we decided, what the heck? Why don't we start
Using
recording
the sound
ourselves?
studio.
Yeah. Why don't we start recording ourselves and making videos? It's also doubles as our work environment, but that doesn't matter. So what we have planned for you guys today, whoever might be crazy enough to be watching right now, is we have Eddie and I's talk show, Cliff and Basil. Basically, that's just like our nicknames. Clifford is Eddie's middle name. Basil is my middle name, so we just kind of use that. It's like a random thing.
Very creative.
No one ever calls us that, but whatever.
No,
It's going to start.
I don't think anybody even knows.
No,
what my name
it's
is.
not.
Yeah.
I like Basil. I'm pretty proud of my name, so I feel like a few
I'm
people
proud of my
know
middle name now.
Yeah?
I used to be a bit.
Dude, I always think of Clifford the Big Red Dog.
I know. So like when I was growing up in school, because like my name isn't
The
the most,
dorkiest
like,
name ever.
I have a pretty dorky name. Yeah. So like if we were growing up, I was like, oh, I can't let anyone know my middle name's Clifford.
Oh, yeah.
But now I'm kind of like, my middle name's Clifford. It's
Yeah.
kind of fucking
It's
cool
kinda
because it's
dope.
my grandpa's
Yeah.
name. So I like kind of have more pride in it now.
Dude, growing up when I was a kid, I hated my name. Like, I hated Dion Basil Toll. I
You
was
were
like,
really
I was
weird
like,
name.
no one has any of these names except for like an English guy named Basil or Basil.
Dude, I have the most
Hated it.
English name ever.
Clifford.
Edward Clifford
Clifford
Jack
Nichols.
McDonald. That's
Wow,
my full
that's
name.
that's 4 English names.
I have 4 extremely English names.
Four first English names. They're all
Yeah,
first names.
Very white.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so what we have planned for today, and maybe some future episodes, we'll see kind of how this goes, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But basically, we're here we have some wine. I gotta turn my phone off. We have some
I should do
wine,
that too.
some refreshments, just to
Not
keep
very
busy. And the plan is just to record a conversation for, 30 minutes? And while we do so, my lovely girlfriend Callie has put together a topic jar.
Yes.
So she wrote things. We don't know what she wrote on any of these pieces of paper, so there's going to be some weird ones. And we just have to talk about a topic for 30 minutes while we maybe enjoy some wine. So shall we get to it?
Go hard.
All
Go
right.
away.
Or wait, how do you stop the... Actually, we don't have to stop it. We keep it going. We can just cut it.
Yeah.
I want to pour some refreshment first.
Yeah, pour it out.
So I'm just going to get that ready so we don't have to interrupt any video making. Let me turn on one and time. It's going to be good. Let me get rid of my phone. Let me turn these sounds off because we don't need that. Ringing and bringing the heat. Okay.
Cheers.
Okay, yeah.
Or cheers before.
Right. Cheers. All right, so I guess I will choose our first topic from the topic jar. Callie, let's see what you have planned for us. This is kind of fun. I'm kind of excited. Who knows? It could be funny. It could be serious. There's probably going to be some serious ones in
Unless you
here.
wrote some silly shit.
I'm not in a very serious mood, but hopefully we get a good one.
We could change that.
All right, so first one here. Wow. All right.
No way.
So
Should we skip that?
we have to do it.
we?
Yeah, we have to do it. If we pick it, we have to do it. We can't
Okay.
skip. All right, so Callie gave us this one. I don't know if it's on autofocus or not.
It's not.
But the topic is Callie's name. So Callie, we get to talk about you for our first episode. I'll let you start.
Actually,
What?
I could just tell you how you met story is kind of cool. It's actually kind of fun. It's actually kind of an entertaining story.
Our how we met story.
Like
Very romantic.
it's very romantic. And the first time I ever saw you guys go on your first date, because I dropped you off your
True.
first date.
Yeah, you were there for our first date. The
Yeah.
first time we ever hung out because you took a video of
Yeah,
me,
you guys walked
and
on
I
the
didn't
beach.
even know you were there.
Yeah, I'm just
It's
like,
like, oh, that's
yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. We can. I can tell Callie and I's how we met story. Very romantic.
It's actually kind of funny though.
Yes. It's interesting. All right. So I guess where does our story begin? Back in early January or February of 2018 is early February of 2018.
Really? I guess it's 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
2 years ago. Only 2 years ago. That's actually not very long ago. Feels like it was forever ago.
That's feeling long.
Anyways, I used to work at a liquor store. I used to manage a liquor store in Nanaimo, down in Departure Bay, and basically I would just sell people alcohol, beer, wine, you name it, all the good stuff in life. And I was working one night, and my coworker had told me about, oh, there's this girl that's probably going to end up coming by at some point. She's probably going to want to talk to you about your trip. I told her about your trip, and she seemed like she wanted to ask you some questions about it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, some random person. And so I'm like,
what trip was that?
oh, yeah, so our trip. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, so Eddie and I went traveling back in 2018, so it was right before we went traveling. It was 3 weeks before we went traveling.
I'm like, you didn't mean after Asia?
No, it was definitely before. So right before we went traveling. And yeah, so this girl comes in and she's really freaking cute, like super, super cute. And I was like, oh shit, like, cool. She like goes and like picks her beer, and she comes out and she's got this like huge smile on her face. Like, I think she was like just on the phone with like her best friend or something, and while she was in like the cooler buying beer. And yeah, so she comes out, and I don't even remember what I was thinking at that point. I think I just had this huge smile on my face because I honestly don't remember the first time I talked to her. I just remember like I sold her beer. I don't remember anything we talked about or what we said. And I just sold her the beer, and she went on her way. But literally, and I don't know why, because like I've served a lot of people at the liquor store and never have like, has anyone ever come in and after I sell them their liquor and they leave, I like in my head was like, I'm gonna date that girl. Like I remember after she left, I was like, I need to date that girl. I don't know why. I wasn't like, it was just this weird thing. I was just like, I have to do it. And I remembered her specifically. It was super weird. And I probably didn't remember what we were talking about because I was like so madly in love. Just kidding. And yeah, so, and like at that point, like we literally just like, I was like, oh, what are you buying? Blah, blah, blah. And I think maybe we talked about Asia. And then she went on her way. I didn't ask for a number or anything. I was just like, I need to date that girl. And so fast forward like maybe a few days, and my friend Mikey, Brad, and Miley invite me to go out for a little road trip out to Tofino. And so we drive out to Tofino, and we're like hiking around. We're going to like, you know, all these cool waterfalls and these old growth trails and stuff like that. And as we're going through Tofino, it's like in the evening, and we're going to, what's it called? Tacofino. We're going to go get some dinner, because when you're in Tofino, you go to Tacofino. Like you don't,
you gotta go to Tacofino.
You just don't not go. Like it doesn't matter if you're a tourist or like whatever. Like you just don't not go to Tacofino. And so we go to Tacofino at the end of our day, and as I'm like ordering a burrito, I like look over, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, Callie was like sitting there with her friends, and I was like, what the fuck, this is crazy. And so like I go and order, and I go and stand in the kind of standing area, and Callie's like sitting with her friends. I don't think she had noticed me at that point. And so let me back up a bit. As throughout that day when we were hiking and stuff, I was like so like weirdly infatuated. Like I remember telling some of my friends that I was out with, like Mikey, Brad, and Miley. I remember telling them, and I was just like, guys, like there's this girl I met, and like I feel like I need to date her. It's this weird thing. Like I got this like huge crush on her, and like just some random girl. Like we didn't really talk about anything. Blah blah blah. And they were all like, oh, that's funny. And so yeah, we go to Tacofino, and she's there, and like I'm ordering my food, talking with Miley, and I'm like, Miley's one of my I don't want to say girlfriends. She's one of my friends.
Girl/friends.
Girl/friends. Yeah, lady friend.
Lady friend.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I remember I like go up to her like in the line, and I was like, hey, like, remember that girl I was talking about earlier? Like she's like right over there with her friends. And Miley was like, oh my god, you need to go talk to her. But she said it kind of loud, and I was like, oh fuck. And I think that's when Callie heard. I think Callie may have heard, and she looked over and she see me. And so I was like, shit, you're right. And so like I get my burrito, and then I just like beeline it straight for their table. I don't say anything to my friends. Like I don't tell them to come with me. I just like beeline it straight for their table. And it is Callie, her best friend Sarah, and I forget the other guy's name, but another friend of theirs. And I'm a horrible person. I forget his name. Mark. I think his name was Mark. And so whatever. We just like, I just like go, I don't even know what I'm going to say at this point. I just like walk over, and I'm like, oh fuck. Like, I don't know what I'm going to say. We've already made eye contact. Like I'm going straight there. And I just like sit down at their table. I'm like, hey, like, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. And we like start talking. We just like hung out. My friends came over, and we had like this like little group of us at Tacofino, and then eventually it was almost sunset, so we're like, okay, we need to go watch the sunset. And so my friends and I we're about to peace out. I asked Callie and her friends if like they wanted to come and we could all like go and watch sunset together, but I think they had other plans or they're planning to head back home or something that night, so they didn't end up making it. But Callie was like, "Oh, but let me get your number," blah blah blah. Like she like was so quick to be on it. So to be fair, I didn't even ask for her number. She asked for mine.
She was on it.
Yeah, no, she was like,
Just
"Oh,
you
by the way,
guys-
what's your number? So you know maybe we can like do something later."
Yeah.
Whatever she said. I don't remember.
But just that like you guys met, and like if you don't know, like Tofino and like the liquor store are literally like the opposite sides of the island. Like it's not like
Tofino's like a
it's not
3-hour
like
drive.
It was close in the same.
No,
town or
it
something.
wasn't. No, it was literally on the other side of Vancouver Island. It's a three and a bit hour drive to go from Nanaimo out there where I worked. So, yeah. Anyways,
It's meant to be.
sort of looking like that. Yes. And so
2 years later. Oh.
we, my friends and I, we go watch sunset. Callie and her friends, like they kind of go and do their own thing. They head back. They start heading back towards home or whatever they're going. And, you know, we go out, we're watching a sunset, got some pretty cool photos, actually. Maybe, hey, we can throw some photos into this as I'm talking about
Yes,
this.
you can.
We can edit that
Do you
in.
know those photos?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, there you go.
We go and take some photos. We're heading out to the beach. I think we went to Cox Bay, out to Pettinger Point. Super beautiful. Like, if you ever go to Tofino in the
I
summer,
always forget which ones are which.
yeah, sometimes it's hard to remember because there's so many. But Pettinger is at the north end of Cox Bay. And basically, it's the best place to storm watch. If there's big waves, you go. There's like this huge lookout right up some cliffs, and like you see like these huge waves coming crashing and like smacking the rock. It's super cool.
I like storm watching at the lighthouse.
Yeah, in
Ucluelet?
Ucluelet, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I don't go out
awesome.
that way enough. But yeah, so we go out, we're watching sunset, super beautiful, like amazing sunset. And we decide to head back to Nanaimo afterwards. We're like, oh, great day, whatever. And we're driving and we get to Port Alberni, which is maybe halfway between Tofino. It's about the halfway mark between Tofino and Nanaimo. And, you know, we're driving through Port Alberni and we see Tim Hortons and we're like, come on, we got to eat like that Tacofino. It just wasn't enough food. So we roll into freaking Tim Hortons in Port Alberni at like 9 o'clock at night. It was like super late. It was dark out. And as we pull up, who's sitting in fucking Tim Hortons? It's Callie and her friends. They're all sitting at a table in the Tim Hortons. I'm like, no fucking way. So we like walk in and then I'm like, hey, this is weird, but hey. And they were all like, oh, what? Hey. Yeah. So like, Brad, Miley, myself, and Mikey, we all go and we sit at their table. We eat some like donuts and stuff, and we all start talking. Mikey and I are like showing Callie and Sarah like our photos, and like knowing them, they're all like, ooh, so
yeah.
cool, oh, wow,
Stoked about everything.
just like completely stoked about it. And yeah, we were like talking and stuff, and yeah, again, like just kind of got late, and we were like, okay, we just need to go back. Time to go to Nanaimo. So we all said our goodbyes again, and we drove home, and that was the end of it. And I don't remember what happened after that, because Callie and I think had made plans like maybe once or twice to hang out after that, like because she had my number, so we had texted a little bit, and a few days later, I think I was like talking about my trip or something like that coming up, and she was like, oh, we should hang out like before you go on your trip, blah blah blah, like, you know, whatever. And I was like, yeah, no, that's a super good idea. So eventually our plans worked out. I forget what happened, but I'm pretty sure the first 1 or 2 times we tried to like hang out,
Didn't work.
the plans just didn't line up, or I got busy or whatever. And so yeah, we ended up hanging out like a couple days after that. The plan was, I was working after that trip to Tofino. So I was back at the liquor store, and Callie came in again, and she was like, hey, like, I'm going to be drinking some beers at Departure Bay Beach after, like, do you want to join or whatever? And I was like, yeah, for sure, that'd be awesome. So
She planned that because
I
you were-
think
Yeah.
she
I was
planned
gonna
it.
say.
I don't remember completely who
Yeah.
planned it, but
No,
she
but,
does like to drink beer at the beach.
Okay, so maybe it was
Yeah.
actually like not planned on her part.
I'm not sure. I don't fully remember. I have a really bad memory, so I'm sure she'll be watching this. She's probably watching this right now, and she's like, oh my god, like...
Oh my god,
this
that's not
is
what happened.
Yeah, she's probably pausing the video to be like, hey, this isn't what happened. She's telling me
Change
that
it.
in the future. I can hear it. Yeah, so we end up, I get off work, I get some beers, and I go and meet her at the beach, and Eddie just happened to be at the same beach that day, or that evening, and because I think you knew I was getting off work or something, so you're like, hey, what are you doing later? We should hang out when you're off work. And
Yeah, I don't
then
know why I was there.
yeah, I think maybe we were gonna hang out, but then I think I had plans with Cal. I don't remember. And anyways, Eddie just happened to be at the beach, and Callie and I are there. We're like hanging out, walking down the beach, and then I don't know what, like maybe 10, 15 minutes later, like I get this little like I think it was Snapchat on my phone, and it was Eddie, and he was like, "Oh, there goes Dion." He like recorded Callie and I. So that was the first time we like really hung out.
Do you still have that video?
I haven't. I think so.
Oh, I hope we can find that because that's great.
I think I still have it. I don't know.
So good.
But yeah, it's really funny. Like Callie and I just walking, and yeah, we hung out, and we basically, I think before I left to Asia, and I went traveling. Eddie and I went traveling for 3 months. So
we were away for a while. Yeah.
I think by the time Callie and I first hung out, it was about 2 weeks before.
Yeah, we left pretty soon.
You and I were going.
Yeah.
So and around I remember on Valentine's Day, February 14th, I asked her. I'm pretty sure I asked her to be my girlfriend on that day. So we like. And I knew I was going traveling for 2 weeks, so I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be like a 2 week thing, but whatever. Like, let's just do it."
Yeah.
And so we like dated for 2 weeks, and it was awesome. It was super cool. And then I went traveling, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty much where we're at now. I mean, I guess there's more. Right? How far do we want to go?
But like now you guys are together.
Now we're together, yeah. And there was a point when I was traveling through Asia where she moved back to Ontario, and we didn't really know what was going to happen because I was like coming back to BC and she was in Ontario, and we were like, oh, like
for a while, didn't she?
Yeah. I think that was when
I
think that was when she went to get her surgery.
That was before I really knew her, though.
Yeah, that was before you knew anything about her, really.
Yeah.
Like we hung out on your birthday before we went traveling. All of us, we went for sushi and went to see the Black Panther. But other than that,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I always forget about that.
But yeah, now 2 years later, we're living on the farm, all three of us, coincidentally.
Yeah, no.
And it's so funny because we've all like sort of like come and gone through like
rotated.
Yeah, we've all like done our own things and then kind of come back. And
Jesus, I was not.
Eddie just got here from Edmonton like a few days ago.
Yeah, what's today? Saturday?
Yeah.
Got here on Monday night.
Monday night?
Yeah, fuck, it hasn't even been a week yet.
There you go. So Eddie's back, but that's our how we met story. Yeah,
cute.
I don't know what else to say. It's kind of.
I don't know what else to say about
I'm new to this.
Yeah.
How far in are we?
I don't know.
Does it say?
I should have started I think we're like 15 minutes.
Okay, let me double check the time. 17 minutes.
Left?
Yeah. Do you want to set a timer really fast?
Yeah.
Set it for 12 minutes. Just so we know when we're about to end. Or wait, actually just do this, just so the alarm doesn't go off. We'll just do the stopwatch, and then just after 12 minutes, just leave it, wherever. So yeah, that was how we met. I don't know.
Say what
now, but
that's
that's how we met.
She
Like,
wanted us to talk about her.
yeah, she wanted us to talk about her, and so that is what we decided to do. Do you have any interesting stories to share about Callie, or any funny experiences you guys have had, or like? Because I know you guys like hung out a lot when we were all living in Victoria.
Yeah.
But like I was working a lot of the time, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if
How did we even become friends? I think it's when we started climbing.
Yeah, it was through climbing.
We both started climbing together, and then when you always worked, we would climb together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then we just became like really good friends.
Yeah, I think just naturally because we all like.
Yeah.
Like Callie and I like always hung out a lot, and like you and I always hung out a lot.
Have you seen How I Met Your Mother?
Does that make me a bad person?
No, it's not that great. But
everyone I ever meet, it's like, oh my god, How I Met Your Mother. I've watched like all 20 seasons or whatever.
Yeah. But there's like three characters: Lily, Marshall, and Ted. I think that's their names. And like Lily and Marshall together, and then Ted is like the other person. They all live together, but they all like hang out together.
Yeah.
So whenever I've like described, because like when I say like, oh, they're both my best friends, but they're together, sometimes people are like, oh, it's kind of weird. I'm like, oh, well, it's kind of like
one of those is Neil Patrick Harris, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, there's the four of them, and then like there's like five of them in the friend group. And, like three of them like live together, and like two of them together, and the other guy's just like part of it. I mean, it's kind of like that. Like we all hang out.
Yeah.
But they're together, and I just
yeah. And he's not necessarily a third wheel. Like we don't really ever like third wheel you. You know, we don't ever.
I don't ever feel third wheel.
No, it never feels like that. It's just like
because I hang out with both of you.
Yeah.
Because
you're good friends with both of us.
Yeah,
like really good friends.
Like I hung out with I hung out with her in Victoria all the time without you, and vice versa. So it was more like my two friends started dating instead of like I met
two people dating a couple.
Yeah. That was kind of that was weird.
That's really funny.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's funny how we all met through climbing, because I remember Kobe. brought me climbing for the first time ever. She was the first person to ever bring me climbing at Romper Room. And that was maybe a month or so before I went traveling. And so Kobe just happened to bring me climbing, and then I went like 2 or 3 times, and I really liked it, but I didn't climb really at all. Like, I was really bad. I could barely do like V1s.
Yeah.
Like, I was literally so bad. And then, we went traveling, did our thing, and what happened? When we got back, it was the summer of 2018, after we got back from traveling, that my friend Kurt, big shout out to Kurt, awesome guy, he invited me to take pictures of him and some of his friends out climbing. And I was like, yeah, sure, like that sounds like fun. He was like, hey man, gonna go out climbing with some friends, like do you wanna come take pictures? And I was like, yeah, okay. So that was kind of like literally what got me into climbing, which is really funny.
Yeah.
And then through climbing, I got you into it, and then you started really liking it.
Because I was away.
Yeah.
And then I remember you were getting into... I remember you, like, sending me photos and be like, this is fucking... I remember you sent me photos
I was so stoked on it.
I think you sent me photos of that first time you went.
Yeah, probably.
And you're like, this is sick. Because you climbed in your boots, right?
Yeah, my hiking shoes.
Sending me photos of that, yeah.
Yeah, I think, like, I didn't even climb. Like, I was so bad. Like, I didn't know how to climb really at all. And I had these big, clunky hiking boots. And I literally think, like, they helped jug me, like, pull me up a 5'9".
Oh, really?
Yeah, someone climbed and set up a top rope, and then Tom, he pulled me up the wall on the rope so that I could get to the top, and then I anchored in, and then all with a borrowed harness, a borrowed PAS, like everything was borrowed. I had no gear at that point. And then shortly after that, I bought my first pair of shoes, and that's kind of what started it. And then it's so funny because...
You dove deep.
Exactly. And Callie was into climbing already, like she had...
Was she?
Been climbing. Yeah, she went to Yosemite to like Camp 4?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she went there with her friend and spent time there, and so she was pretty into climbing like before I met her, and then through that we all just kind of started climbing together, and we're all like, oh, this is sick, super fun.
Yeah.
So climbing kind of solidified, I feel like, our relationship.
Friends, yeah.
Like climbing is like the big sticky glue that kind of brought us together.
I probably wouldn't be as good of friends with Callie without climbing, because like it gave us a reason to hang out.
Exactly.
Right, and it was like, because you always worked, and then yeah. That's climbing is our... Aw.
Dude, I love climbing. It's so much fun.
It sucks not being able to climb right now.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does. But, hopefully soon, like, I'm hoping by, like, mid to late June, it'll be okay to go climbing again. Because think about it, everyone's in the same mindset. Like, no one doesn't not want to go climbing. You know?
No one doesn't not want to do anything.
Like, yeah, but, like, specifically climbing. Everyone's like, I need to go climbing. Well, that's why there's so many videos of people, like, climbing around their house.
Well, it's not climbing season, but it sucks because you can't actually go in climbing gyms either.
Yes.
Like, you can't do anything.
There's no climbing.
We've been trying to, we're like plotting to make our own climbing wall.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have this plan. It's a good idea.
What's a good idea?
Building a climbing wall.
You said it was a bad idea.
Oh, no, it's a great idea.
Did I say it was a bad idea?
Oh, I thought you said a bad idea.
No, you said that's a bad idea.
I don't know.
I think you were talking about going to climbing gyms, or going climbing.
Going climbing, yes. Yes, going climbing is a bad idea.
Is a good idea.
Yeah. Right now, it's a bad idea. In general, it's a good idea. Building a climbing wall is a great idea because it encourages social isolation and social distancing while also pursuing your passions.
Yes.
Just like how we're doing right now.
So actually, because if someone watches, if this does get posted and someone watches it in like 2 years.
We'll get posted and someone will watch in 2 years, yeah.
We're in fuck's sakes. What was I gonna say now? Oh, just like that. We're in fucking COVID-19 lockdown.
Yeah, isolation.
Well, kind of isolation, not really. I guess we both already did isolation.
Yeah.
But there's a global pandemic that's kind of raging through the cough. Yeah. And you're supposed to say like 2 meters apart from everybody.
Yeah, 2 meters is the rule.
That's why we're like
yeah.
Because we live together.
Yeah, we can be
and yeah, it's just kind of crazy. Like everything's shut down, all the businesses shut down.
Yeah.
That's why we can't climb.
Yeah.
That was the point I was trying to make. Is why can't we go?
Oh yeah, that's why we can't climb right now. That's why climbing gyms are closed. It's pretty serious. It's crazy how it's so weird because like I feel like no one that's alive today has really experienced anything like this.
I listened to a podcast today, and they made like a really good point. It made a lot of sense. It's like we've been in a however many year, like 75-year nap since since World War II, and like we haven't had to struggle as a global
Nation.
community or
Yeah.
a nation or
True,
a city,
yeah.
like anything. Like we haven't experienced like real struggle. And that's why they say
Right.
like people get mad over like such bullshit right now.
Yeah.
It's because like we have no perspective.
Right.
So like the last thing that happened was World War II. That was kind of the last time we actually had to like test ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, big time.
And that generation's gone. So this is
Yeah.
like everyone's new.
Yeah.
This is like everyone's first go at
Totally.
like, a world issue.
Yeah, I think this is a good lesson
Like, there
because
hasn't been anything actually that bad.
not really like
Not our
there was like
lives.
the Vietnam War and stuff like that, but that was still that was in the
like
70s.
it didn't affect. It affected America obviously, but
Yeah,
like it didn't
not on the
affect
same
like
level.
the lifestyle
Yeah, of people at
who
home.
lived there. Yeah.
Yeah, unless you were drafted to go to war.
Yeah,
There's
but,
different
like-
arguments you can make, but
Yeah,
I
but,
know.
like-
I see what you're
yeah.
saying. This is like the big thing for our
Where
generation.
like governments are literally telling us to not leave our house.
Yeah,
Like that's
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
it's really interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting.
It doesn't feel as intense as it should.
That's what I keep saying.
know, like,
That's
it
why I'm like,
doesn't-
I didn't think it was so serious because it's so serious. But like for
Like I
us,
just
we're
feel
just
like we're just chilling at
we're
home.
just living our lives
yeah.
on the farm.
I mean, yeah, because we're on the farm now, so we don't really have to go
We're
out.
farm hands.
We
work here.
can entertain ourselves
not
pretty
a
good on
hippie
the farm.
commune.
It's not. It's kind of hippie.
It's kind of a hippie
It's a little
commune.
bit of
Depends how you look at it.
Yeah.
What's a hippie? You know.
Yeah. But like, like it just like even just because like my personality, I'm not really one to like go out and party or like I go to cafes and coffee shops
Right.
and I get groceries.
Yeah.
Like that's literally it. So like to me, it's not a huge deal.
Yeah.
But so it doesn't really feel like, or because it hasn't affected me that much, it doesn't really feel like it's an actual issue. I'm just like, oh, we're just like staying home.
Yeah.
But like in reality, people
Totally.
are literally dying.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Like
it's super
hard
serious.
to,
And like the healthcare.
it's hard to
system,
comprehend
yeah.
it. I feel like because you compare it to movies, and like movies are so intense, they make it so crazy that like
Yeah.
that's your expectation.
So, like, Hollywood,
right? Because
yeah.
like so now like I watched Contagion. I think I told you.
Yeah, you
I
told
watched the
me
movie
about that.
Contagion. It's fucking weird.
I haven't seen it yet. I really want to watch
It's
it.
fucking just. It's like weird. Like the virus in that show is like way more fucking brutal than the one
Speaking
we
of
have.
Callie, she won't watch it with me
yeah.
because she's scared to watch it.
We can watch it.
Callie, we have to watch Contagion. Let's just watch it.
Yeah, we'll use her FOMO as a way to get her to watch it because we'll watch it.
Oh,
and
good
we'll have
idea.
fun.
We'll watch it together.
And then
She'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
She won't not.
She doesn't like
watch.
being left out.
No, I felt really bad because we told her she couldn't be a part of our new show. Not yet, anyways.
She
Like,
can,
down the road.
but maybe.
But this is the first episode. You know, we really wanted to make sure it was perfect.
We've been
for
talking about
everybody.
doing this for like years.
Yeah.
We just haven't.
Yeah, we've tried here and there.
We've
'Cause remember when
tried.
we sat down in Koh Lanta in Thailand?
Oh,
Do you remember that
yeah.
when we sat down and like we just like at the hostel we had
was
nothing to do
weird,
and we
though.
were like, let's make a podcast.
Yeah, we were fucking trapped.
We did one episode. It was
now
great.
we're literally stuck at home with each other, and we have a sound studio. We gotta.
I still have that episode.
Fucking have to do it. I think I did too somewhere. I watched this a little while ago. It was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. What were we talking about? Contagion.
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 Let's get back
Contagion,
to the
how,
point
like,
here.
Other than the fact that in the movie the virus is brutally deadly, and ours is like deadly but not. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
For most people, anyways. It was like literally on point with how it started.
Yeah.
Like from an animal in China. It's not that like I want to start the whole
Yeah.
fuck China thing. China. It's not
China
China's fault.
virus.
Yeah, it's, yeah, fuck's sake.
To quote Donald Trump,
Yeah.
he said
It
it.
wasn't your creation.
I'm putting it out there. He said it.
But like it followed the steps all the way to like where we're at now, and it was just like kind of terrifying. It was
Yeah.
like so like the reality is the kind of the same, but like the feeling's not the same.
Yeah.
Because in the show, people are like literally freaking out,
and,
like they're
ready to kill each other at
Yeah.
the grocery store. Like, I need this turkey.
and like people do that here too, but not to the same extent. So
Yeah.
I think because you see movies,
We've
like
seen that with toilet paper.
that
Toilet paper was like
fucking
everyone's
weird.
got to wipe their ass as soon as the world starts ending. Think about it. You don't go buy food when the world ends.
you
You gotta wipe your ass.
It was crazy though.
But when you go to Asia, there's no toilet paper anywhere.
that's such a good point. Holy shit.
Get a bidet, people.
Plus,
Way better.
fucking.
And you don't have to worry about toilet paper crisis.
But that toilet paper thing became such a mentality.
Yeah.
That I feel weird buying toilet paper now.
Yeah, there's a
Like,
stigma
I feel like an
attached
idiot.
to
Like,
getting
just,
toilet paper.
I'm just literally buying toilet paper, and I feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people are looking at me like I'm a
Oh,
fucking-
that guy's buying
like
toilet
I'm
paper.
prepping, yeah, to wipe
He's
my
freaking
ass.
out. Yeah, that's like the thing. If like
I
you buy like one roll of toilet paper, and it's like that guy's panicking.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Like walking out of the store, kind of like trying to
Yeah.
hide it and shit because I don't want people to see it.
Yeah, you buy like 3 guns, walk out of the gun store, and it's
Yeah,
like, oh
it's
yeah,
not a
Jim's
big
just
deal.
getting some new guns here, no big deal.
Okay, so basically we're talking about like people going crazy because the world's in a literal global pandemic right now because of COVID-19.
Yeah.
Came from China, and then it kind of just like exploded all over the world.
Crazy.
And basically, I was just saying how I watched this movie Contagion, and it was like on point.
Yeah.
Like from start to where we're at now, it was like the exact sequence of events that's happened today. It was just kind of creepy because that movie was made in like 2011 or something.
Yeah.
A while ago.
Predicted
2020.
what's going on.
Yeah, so, and just like how in the movie, everyone was going insane.
Right.
And there was like this little period of time before this kind of became a huge thing, because it is a big thing now. We're literally like stuck at home, like the government's telling us to quarantine.
Yeah.
But before that happened, people freaked out. People, and like toilet paper, for whatever reason.
Right.
People were buying toilet paper like just off the shelves and like fighting over it. Like there was videos of people like punching each other and shit. And then
crazy.
Like they were like the crazy people at first, and like the people who weren't panicking yet were just like, they're insane.
Yeah.
But now it's at a point where like everyone's like, oh shit, we're stuck at home.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy.
It's just crazy.
It's weird how it's like kind of brought everyone together as well, because I've seen so much stuff. Like it feels like no one cares about anything anymore except COVID, but also like how to support everyone else. Like that's what I see a lot is like, oh, like I see all these like support programs, these relief programs. You know, I see like even like local businesses being supported like crazy.
The positive route. I went the negative route on that.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, it's positively.
I see a lot of like really great stuff kind of coming out of this because like, you know, you don't get like super outrage culture to the same extent anymore. There's not like crazy BS happening.
When you look
it's
at
just
social
purely
media,
like, oh, look at, you know, what's happened or where we're at or why we need to stay home. Like it's all COVID-19. Like it's kind of brought everyone together in a way because especially in today's world, I feel like our society is so divided so much and so deeply between different groups of people that like this has kind of forced everyone to be like, hey, we're all in this together. Yeah, we're all having the same issues and we're all this kind of the same. It kind of helps everyone relate with each other and therefore like kind of be one.
Well, like I said in the last one, I heard this term that like people were calling it, or this guy on a podcast I was listening to, he called it like a 75-year nap. So, or however many years since like the World War II, because that was the last time we actually like struggled as a globe. Yeah. Like sometimes nations struggle or cities struggle,
but as a globe.
But there's always
outsiders. Brought everyone together.
There's always outsiders and issues, right? Whether it's even if it's like the whole continent of Africa or like the whole continent of Asia. Yeah. If something happening over there, something is happening over there. Like we like.
It's kind of disconnected.
We can see it, but we don't really get it.
If you don't want to pay attention, you don't have to.
Yeah, but now literally everyone's in the exact same boat.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like for the first time ever, or not first time ever, but like I personally have never seen people from our country or just other countries like trying to help and communicating with other countries that are struggling more than them.
Totally.
Right? Like that never happens. Like what global issue or what even like national issue in countries do you see, like Canada, for example, like fucking loving that country and giving as much as it can to it and like helping it and communicating with it, like Italy right now. Yeah. Like Italy's getting fucked by the virus and every country around the world's like pray for Italy.
Yeah, totally.
Like, that doesn't happen.
People were shining ventilators and stuff there, but I mean obviously I think now everywhere's kinda like, okay, we gotta worry about ourselves here.
It only happens when there's like a disaster.
And there's nowhere that's unaffected by it.
Exactly.
Maybe on the moon where there's no people. But like dude, crazy thought. Callie brought this up, but like imagine like being on like a 1 month trip like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago and like just getting back to like reality now, or being like up in the space station or sailing, same thing.
I was thinking
in the middle
like
of
people
nowhere.
do like sailing trips.
Yeah.
They just go out for a couple
and
weeks.
And they come back and everything's like ghost town.
That
would be
crazy.
So apocalyptic.
Roll up in Italy and it's literally empty.
Just quiet streets.
Everyone's in their house yelling at you. Why are you outside?
Like, hey, you fucking idiot! Hey, Tony, what's he doing down there?
Like, yeah, it's just, it's such a...
Throw a pizza at him!
It's like if you haven't seen your friend in a long time. Like if you know someone, don't see them for like 2 years and you come back, it's totally different. Yeah. But like your world's different.
Yeah.
And all the toilet papers.
I don't know how COVID turned into that, but it did.
But it did.
We're all learning from it at the end of the day.
I think the reason the craziness of shopping stopped is because people actually realized they were like, oh shit.
Yeah.
There's like this weird mentality of the unknown that like you freak out more than when you're actually in
totally.
it. So like before people really knew it was gonna happen, they're like, this could be fucking brutal.
Yeah.
So they like stock up, or the people who are really
People
worried.
panic,
But now that everyone knows what it is, they're like, oh, all right, we can do
it's
this.
like when we went grocery shopping the other day. Like we went to Costco because we had to restock on groceries. It's been like almost 3 weeks that we've pretty much gone.
Yeah.
And we went to Costco, and it was honestly it was weird because everyone was like social distancing, and
it was weird.
There was
the
tape
mentality.
on the floors, and everyone was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
But like all the shelves were stocked completely as normal.
And even like
there was avocados and bananas and all the canned foods you could possibly imagine that are normally at Costco. Everything was
toilet
there.
paper was stocked.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's because there was like the weird part of it was the mentality. Was that like when you walk in there, you kind of know everyone. Like it's almost like when you feel like people are looking at you.
Yeah.
But like you know what everyone's thinking.
Right.
Right. Like you know everyone's worried. Like you see people
Totally.
with masks and gloves and shit. And
Yeah.
like there's tape on the floors. But like other than that, it was normal.
Yeah.
So it's almost weird because like physical life hasn't actually been affected that
Not
much.
really, not
It's
yet,
just like
yeah.
our mentalities of
Yeah.
it. Like like we're supposed to stay at home. A lot of people aren't able to go to
purely
work. But it's
people's
purely
attitudes,
mentality.
yeah.
Yeah. Like because people
Never
are
thought
saying
about
like
that, but yeah,
if you think
sure.
about it in like a month, if
Yeah.
this stays the exact same thing for months, in 2 months, this is
Yeah.
gonna be like normal.
Yeah, well,
Like, right
everyone
now-
will kind of get used to
Yeah,
it.
right now people are freaking out and they're like,
the
I'm
most
so
part.
bored and
Yeah.
like going crazy at home. But like if this just keeps happening,
You'll find a way to get busy.
you'll find a way.
And what I keep saying to like everyone, at least like what I'm trying to say to everyone right now is like, there's so much time to do whatever the fuck you want to do right now. Obviously,
Yeah.
you can't go travel.
That's
Obviously, you shouldn't go like climbing or start going to the gym. And like there's certain things, yes, that you cannot do.
Yeah.
But like if you want to learn to play a guitar, if you want to learn to play piano, if you want to learn how to cook, if you want to like there's so many things that people can do. If you want to like figure out what you're going to do with your business over the next year, or how you're going to start a future business, or what your life goals are, or how you're going to financially plan better, or like there's so many endless opportunities of like how you can use all this extra time where you're like sitting around watching Netflix or just being bored.
Yeah.
You can use that time to like better yourself and like
feel-
become a better person out of this whole thing.
I feel like I agree with everything you just said, but I feel like
Ranting.
people are but I feel like people are realizing they're like the extent of their willpower. Because people always use like I don't have time as an excuse.
Jeez, I worked
And
so
now
long
that's
today, and by the
not
time I
an
got off
excuse.
work, I had to go eat, and then I had to take a shower before bed, and then I had to go to sleep. I had
If
no
your
time
aspirations don't involve you like traveling to some other part of the world, like you literally have no excuse anymore.
Yeah.
So like people like I saw like a fucking tweet the other day. It was perfect. It was like it was basically saying exactly that. It's like all these things I said I would do when I had time. I haven't done them, and it's been 2 weeks.
Right.
Like it's like it's a weird like test to see if you'll actually do shit.
Mm.
And I think that's one thing that it's been weird for me is like because I'm supposed to stay at home.
Yeah.
And because there's nothing to go out and do.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to be constantly productive.
Totally.
Like it's almost like this weird pressure I've like put on myself because of it that I'm like, yeah, I'm like staying at home because of COVID and everything. I can't do anything about it. But because I got to make something out of it, I have to be doing something all the time.
Yeah.
Something productive, something good, something healthy. Like I've been running and shit. It's like, it's not as bad now, but like for the first like 2 or 3 weeks, I was like making lists and shit and trying to be like productive from like wake to sleep.
Trying to have a work schedule.
Yeah, and it's,
yeah.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work when you're
doesn't
at
work for me
home
anyways.
because you don't associate your home with work.
Yeah.
At least most people don't. Some people have offices at home, but
That'd
when
be a
you're
hard
at
transition.
home all day, like you're living at home, like it's
Yeah.
not your workspace anymore. It's your permanent
And we're lucky
everything space.
our place is entertaining. Like
Yeah.
some people who live in like apartments or so.
We're lucky because we literally have an office built in outside of. We have an office studio
And we have
built
so
outside
much-
of our house.
and we have like beautiful outdoors
Yeah.
to walk around in because like the property.
And the
we live
best
on
part,
is nice.
getting to the office from my bed is the shortest commute in the world.
it's like 20.
Like, this is
It's
a commute.
Maybe,
It's like-
maybe 40 steps.
Maybe 40 steps
Maybe.
to go from my bed when I step out of bed in the morning
And it's a
to
different
walk
building.
to my office
not even the
/
same
studio. Yeah, it's pretty dope. So point being, there's so much that I think a lot of us could be doing right
What are you
now.
doing?
I know. What am I doing?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say I know I'm doing a lot to try and
What are you
further
doing?
myself and just honestly not be bored. I'll tell you what I'm doing. Before I go into that, I want to talk about I forget where I heard it. It was probably the Joe Rogan podcast. I hate saying that because it sounds so like bro-y and just so like, oh yeah, do you hear the Joe Rogan podcast? But you know what? There's so much legit stuff that goes on there, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But they were talking, I forget who he was even talking to, but they were talking about how being bored, the like emotion or feeling of boredom is like a biological mechanism in our heads from nature. Like nature gave us boredom and was like, hey, if you feel this, it means you should probably be doing something else. That's the way I look at it. So like when I'm bored, I'm like, I like have to like my brain is like telling me like you're bored. Like, you almost do like something. Need boredom. You need boredom to like be almost productive in a way. I feel like.
Well, I guess it's like anything. You need like a perspective.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, to combat boredom, basically, like I hate feeling bored. I hate it. Like when I'm like sitting on my phone scrolling on like Instagram or like, I mean, TikTok's pretty fun. I could watch that all day and like not be bored. But like, you know, if I'm like scrolling, like I hate feeling bored. So like, I think I just sort of have it like drilled into my head, just like if I'm feeling bored, like just like find something to do. And, you know, I can't really edit photos. I'm not shooting that much. I'm not taking a lot of video. So how do I combat my boredom? How do I find stuff to do? Well, I still do partially work a job right now. So I'm staying pretty busy with that. But another thing that I can do is like start using like my physical, mental, creative abilities and like physically make stuff. I've always liked making stuff and like carving stuff out of wood. So what have I done to combat all my boredom and isolation, and I guess to kind of better myself in a way, is I built a hangboard.
You're working on skills?
I'm just working on building skills. So I built a hangboard for climbing so I could train and keep my fingers strong for when I go back to climbing. I built a TRX ring system for climbing as well. So I could do like pull-ups. I can do like any kind of bodyweight exercise. TRX stuff. If you don't know what a TRX is, buy one because you'll get super, super ripped and super strong, like so fast. You'll be a stud. So I built one of those. I built a bow and arrow, which is super sick. It actually shoots arrows.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen you actually use that.
Yeah, I have to show Eddie, but like I just went out into the bushes, found a stick, made a bow and arrow. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many different things, and you know, it's hard. Like every day is kind of hard to find something to do, but at the end of the day, like I'm keeping busy and I'm finding things to do, and you know, I just want to sort of further my skills. So before, I had no idea how to woodwork, but I built a new bed / couch. It's a bed that turns into a couch in my minivan. I built that. And now I have a bit of a better understanding of like, oh, you should actually cut wood this way, and oh, here's why you should use a straight edge, and oh, here's the actual proper types of screws to use when you're doing like 2x4s together to build a frame. You know, so there's a lot of different like hands-on practical skills that I've learned so far in these past like 3 weeks, which is awesome. So
that's a lot of stuff.
In rant, that's it. There's so much more we could be doing with our time. It's just not always easy either, though. I will say that. It's not always easy. You just get bored, you just want to watch Netflix, it's hard to wake up in the mornings, and like, you don't have to wake up in the mornings. That's the nice thing. Yeah. It's like, oh, you want to wake up at 9 o'clock? Like, that's sleeping in for me. But like, oh, you want to wake up at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock? Oh, 10 o'clock, you really slept in. Like, it's fine. You know, it's like, we don't have to be up at 6 a.m. to be like, oh, I got to get 3 hours in before I go to work. Or I need to get blah, blah, blah. I need to go work out. And, you know, there's no pressure now.
If this lasts a long time, it's going to be hard for a lot of people to go back to a regular schedule.
It's going to be hard, yeah. But I think a lot of people will need it because they'll be so bored at home.
Yeah.
Like, imagine being stuck at home right now and you have nothing in your house. You're like one of those ridiculously crazy, like, minimalist people who has, like, a guitar that they don't know how to play in one corner, a book stand, but with no books, and just, like, a couple tea mugs, and, like, maybe an old film camera that they have no idea what it is. Like, that's all their house is. Like, imagine being those people. How the hell do you keep busy? So there's going to be my point being, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to go back to work. I think, like, fuck this. To some extent, maybe. I think a lot of people are going to be excited to go back to work, though. It'll be something to be like, oh, yes, finally, I can start making money again. I can start, you know, feel like I'm paying my bills.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Huh. Yeah. I thought about that.
Yeah.
But I've been pretty entertained. I've had a lot of shit to do all the time.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, on the farm, like, there's always work to do. There's
Yeah.
always, like, wood to chop if you want, or, you know, there's always something that you can find to do here, and that's part of the reason I love it.
Yeah.
I love it a lot. But
Yeah, if you get bored here, it's your fault.
totally. And I think that's where we should leave it. Quote of the day. If you get bored here, it's your fault. Write that one down. Put it on your fridge. Seriously, put that on your fridge. If you get
That's a
bored
good-
here,
that could be a
it's
sick
your
one.
fault, because I feel like your life is what you make it. And if it feels bored,
That'd be a
it's
good-
because you're making it bored.
That'd be a good slogan for like a.
That's the new slogan of the show.
Okay.
We should just get a big poster that says,
If you get bored here, it's your fault.
oh my god, how funny would that be as a backdrop? Dude, that has to be, next video we do, we're gonna have a big board that just says, if you get bored here, it's your fault. I'm Dion. This is Eddie. And, well, he's Cliff and I'm Basil. That's why the channel's called Cliff and Basil. It doesn't make sense. Don't worry about it. It's our middle names.
That wasn't that funny.
What?
That wasn't that funny.
Oh, okay.
That was really